Okay, good evening, everyone. Naomi just said, tonight is just a brief, very brief overview of all the different roles that we'll have during this internship. And like she said, I'm just going to take a very high level kind of description for us, touching on bits and pieces. So for tonight, we'll be looking at the Scrum Master or the business analyst, the quality assurance, or call them software testers, the data analyst, the agile delivery manager slash the project manager. Those are two roles, but we're combining them into one because they do similar things. And then we have the cybersecurity professionals also. So we'll just talk briefly on who they are, their core responsibilities. So I won't be talking about all the responsibilities, just some main one that are aligning with their roles. We'll look at some core skills and then the tools. The tools also might be just some few ones, like we said, is just high level, just to give you kind of an overview, like we said, of what you will be working with or who you are, knowing who you are and the things you'll be doing. So I'm going to start off with the Scrum Master. Okay, so who you are as a Scrum Master, you are the person that oversees the implementation of the Scrum process. So there's a process under Agile called the Scrum framework. So you'll be overseeing the implementation of it. Is the process that your team will be looking at. You are the master of that process. So you'll be implementing it, ensuring that the team adheres to it. They follow the principle, they follow the practices in order for them to be able to add value to what they are doing, bring quality into what they are doing, and be able to work together. Okay, so that's who you are as a Scrum Master. And some of your core responsibilities will include facilitating all the Scrum events. So we have Scrum events, sprint planning, daily stand-up, and the rest. When we go into the nitty-gritty of the training properly, you will know all the Scrum events. So like we said, we don't want to waste too much time on each role. So you facilitate those events. They are called Scrum events or Scrum ceremonies. You facilitate them. You remove obstacles or impediment, anything blocking the team, any problem they are having that is not allowing them or that are disturbing them from doing what they need to do. You are the person that oversee the removal. So the team might be able to remove it themselves. That's good. If they are not, then that's for you to remove, but that's part of your core responsibilities. You promote collaboration and communication within the team. You shield your team. You protect them from anything that would distract them from doing what they need to do. You also coach and you mentor them on the Scrum processes so that they have an understanding of it. The skills you need to do this include the facilitation skills. Okay, so you'll be facilitating most of the meetings. So you need this facilitation skills, you need the communication skills, you need to be able to communicate effectively. Collaboration skills is there, even though it's not on the chart, is another one of it. Conflict resolution, you need to have the skill of knowing how to resolve conflict because you will have conflict. So you need to have that skill. Analytical skills, being able to think and be creative with the solutions that you're providing for your team. Coaching, mentoring your team members in Scrum processes. You have to empathize with your team. You have to have emotional intelligence. People have one thing or the other, personal things that they deal with. You need to be able to empathize with your team members because it's somebody that is well balanced, that is able to work and be productive in what they do. And some of the tools you use, you have the Scrum board, which Azure DevOps provides. Jira also provides. There are other providers also of Scrum boards, but I'm just making mention of these few ones because they're the ones that are common in the workplace. You have the communication and collaboration tools like MS Office. You have Google Workspace, you have Confluence, lots of them, but I'm just making mention of just these few ones because they're the ones where you do your communication, collaboration, and where you do transparency and visibility with your team. So that's for the Scrum Master. So quickly, we just want to look at the business analyst. So who is a business analyst? Okay, you identify business needs, you elicit requirements from the business, you facilitate communication between the stakeholders and the development team. So your core responsibility is a business needs has they need a solution. You provide the solution for them. You identify what is their needs. You'll be able to profile, okay, this is the solution that will work with your team, and be able to analyze it for them. So you gather requirements from them, you gather information from them for you to be able to do that. You put those, you need to document those requirements. There are documents that you need to create and provide. By the time we go into the nitty-gritty, you'll get that. Don't let me go into that too deep. You manage the stakeholders. Okay, so the business are stakeholders, your development team also are stakeholders, you have product owners. If you have their stakeholders, you need to be able to manage your stakeholders, communicate with them, get information from them. So you manage them, you create. Also, you have to be able to analyze the business process. I said it earlier on, the business has they need a solution, you're providing a solution to them and everything. You need to understand the process they're working with, and being able to align that with the process or solution that you're bringing in for them. Also, you evaluate solution also, because you're bringing a solution, so you'll be able to analyze and assess the solution that you're bringing onto them. Your core skills, also you facilitate. Also, you're a facilitator. Also, you need to have communication skills, collaboration skills. You need to be able to document. So you write documents, well structured and everything. You'll be able to do that. Presentation skills, you need that, because when you're eliciting requirements from them, you need to, when you are showing them, presenting the solution that you've profiled for their business, their needs for them, you need to be able to have presentation skills. Analytical skills also is another thing that you need to have. Problem solving skills. Your problem, you profile a solution to the company's needs or problem. So you have to have problem solving skills, and then attention to details. You need to know what they said they need and be able to provide for them what they solution to what they said they need. So you have to have attention to detail. I think that cuts across all the roles anyway, for everyone in your role to have attention to detail. And then some of the tools that the BAs use for their requirements management, you have Visio, Azure DevOps. The stories are put on Azure DevOps of Jira. They make use of MS Office, the different types that you have, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. They make use of all that. For their prototyping to create wireframes and all that, they have Balsamic. And then you have collaboration tools like the MS Teams. Some organizations use Slack. You have Confluence that they can use for their collaboration tools. Okay, so quickly, we want to look at the quality assurance or software tester, so to say, as you call them. So who are you as a QA? You evaluate software applications to ensure they meet the quality standard, they are free of defects and function as expected. Okay, so yours is to validate whatever has been developed through your testing skills. You're able to do that. And your core responsibilities includes creating test plans, you design test cases, you execute tests. That's where you carry out your test, either manual or automation. You execute tests. You have defect reporting. Also, you identify bugs. You create the bugs. Give the information regarding that bug to the bugs that you've created to the developer, so that can be fixed. And then you retest. You have all that. They do regression testing. Don't worry, you'll learn about all those things. And then you have system and functionality validation. That is the main thing you're doing. Your job is to check, okay, this system this application or system that has been developed and all that, is it functioning the way it should? Is it designed the way it should? Is it able to work the way it should? Those are all some. Like you said, it's just the core responsibility. That doesn't mean that is the beginning and the end of what you do or your responsibility as a quality assurance person. Okay, so your core skills is you have to have technical proficiency. Don't let that word scare you. I assure you that once you start, you would get to what it means. It's just some technical terms that you need to understand in carrying out your roles. Okay, so what we're just saying, that you need that skill. You might not have that skill now, but by the time you finish, that skills will be there. Okay, so don't let that technical thing scare you off. Okay, and then you have to have communication skills, because you need to communicate with your team members, other roles in the team. You have to have collaboration skills or collaborative skills, because again, communication and collaboration goes hand in hand. Analytical skills also is another one. Problem solving skills, attention to detail. I call QAs the hawk. they see what other people can't see. So you have to have attention to details. You have to have domain knowledge. Domain knowledge, again, like I said, don't let it scare you. It's just you having the knowledge of maybe the platforms where your tools are, having understanding how they work. At times you have to have domain knowledge of the product you're testing in order for you to know what you need to test and everything. And that's where your validation comes in, when you have an understanding. But that will be provided for you. You will be the BAs will be able to give you the information you need. You will ask questions to get clarification in order for you to have that domain knowledge. So you would get there, don't worry. And then you have to have an evaluation skills, because you're evaluating, again, like I said, an app or a product. So you have to have that evaluation skills. Some of the tools you use, your test management, you manage it on Azure DevOps or Jira. For your automation testing, you have Visual Studio, you have Selenium, WebDriver, Jenkins. They're not limited, again, to all these, but these are some of the tools you use. For CI/CD, you have the GitLab, and there are others also that you will be taught when you start the training fully. I move quickly to the data analyst. Who are you as a data analyst? Okay, so you collect, you analyze, and then you interpret data to provide insights that inform the business decisions and strategies. So business has uh they have a need, not a need, so to say, but they want to make some decisions, and they need the data or report. They need you to analyze the data they have and then give them a report, give them visualization that will help them, give them insights to decisions that they need to make in order to improve whatsoever services they are rendering, or to improve what they provide, or the app that they're using. So that is what you do. You analyze the data in order to give them those feedback, to report those feedback to them. Your core responsibilities is definitely data collection. You need to collect data. You need to clean and prepare the data before you can, use it to interpret what the business wants. You need to be able to analyze data. Mainly, it just goes with your role. And then you need to provide data visualization for the business, and you need to be able to report. Okay, so your reporting is to give them, you provide insight, you provide the recommendations that you've made. This is what we've noticed. We would advise the business to do this and that and everything. Those are part of your responsibilities, not limited, again, to this, but core responsibilities that you will carry out as a data analyst. And then your core skills, you'll have to have statistical knowledge in order to be able, data goes hand in hand with that. You have to be analytical. That is what your role is. You analyze. You have to have programming proficiency. Again, don't let the words scare you. You would get there. By the time you are taught what you need to do, you will become a pro in what you're doing. Okay, so problem solving skills, also attention to detail, another one, reporting skills, and database management, because you deal with data, so you will have to have all those skills. And some of the tools you use for your data preparation could be MS Excel. You could use Google Sheets to get your data ready, either collect and then maybe clean them also. And then for your data visualization, you have Tableau, you have Power BI, you have Google Data, and there'll be others also, not just, limited to this one. And then for your data extraction also, you use SQL also to do that. Okay, so quickly, let me go to the Agile Delivery Manager. Okay, so earlier on, while we're looking at the roles that we're looking at ADM/APM. But for the purpose of this, I just want to separate them, because even though they are combo, they have a bit of differences, and that's why I have separated them out. Okay, so who are you as an Agile Delivery Manager? You oversee the delivery of projects or products using the Agile methodology. So under Agile, you have different processes. Scrum is one of them. There's Kanban. There are different ones there. Okay, so you oversee using so you're able to advise a client or the business to say, for this project that we need to run, looking at everything, the requirement, what is needed, is suited for Scrum process or is suited for Kanban framework and all that. You'll be able to give that advice and all that. So that's why your role, that's why you have Agile in front of your role. So you're not just a delivery manager. You have to use Agile to deliver product or the project. So you oversee that. And your core responsibility, not limited to this, is you have to be able to implement the Agile framework, just like I just explained. All the frameworks that Agile have, you need to be able to know them. You have the knowledge of them, and you have also the know-how of how they work, the processes of how they work. Okay. And then you need to be able to manage the stakeholders, because you deal with different stakeholders in getting that project delivered, the timeline. So you deal with different stakeholders, you deal with the development team themselves, you deal with the clients, you deal with other departments in the organization, the engineering department, IT department, the marketing department, and all that, because it's all about delivery. So you deal with all the departments that have vested interest in that particular project or product. So they are the stakeholders, and then you manage them. You manage risk also, because you want to be sure that there are no risk that is going to delay that product from getting delivered. You look at metrics which can help you to improve, to look at how the team are working to improve, and to provide information, to the stakeholder. So that's why I put the metrics and the reporting together. You also you track the progress of the project, because for your delivery to meet the timeline, you need to track things. You need to make sure that things are moving at the right pace, and you can use your metrics to do that most times. And then also you manage the project delivery. That's mainly what you do. Everything that has to do with the delivery of this project, it is in your hand to make sure that things are going smoothly, the workflow, everything is going seamless. That is your role. Then the your core skills includes having the knowledge of Agile methodology. You need to know that. Communication, collaboration. You need to be able to have your presentation skills, conflict resolution, adaptability, and flexibility. That is mainly the backbone of Agile. So you need to also have those skills. The skills to be able to adapt, to be able to be flexible at any given time when there is change, to respond to that change as quick as possible, productive response. Let's put it that way. You need to have that skill. Coaching skills you need to have also, because you need to coach the business, especially in a business that has never done Agile before, just transitioning to Agile. You need to coach the business. You need to coach the organization. While the Scrum Master is coaching the team, you are actually coaching the business, the other departments in the organization, about Agile, so that everybody gets a buy-in into the using of that methodology. You are a leader, so you have to have a leadership skills, and then you have to have reporting skills also, because you will be reporting, to different stakeholders in the organization. Some of the tools you use for Agile project management, you have the MS Project, you have Azure DevOps, you have Jira. There are other tools in a tool, let me put it that way, on Azure DevOps and Jira, that you will use in carrying out your role. Collaboration tools. You have MS Office, Google Workspace. There are others also. And then for your reporting skills, you have PowerPoint, you have Power BI, and then there are others also that you can use. So these are just some few things that you will be using. So for project manager, who are you as a project manager? Okay, so you oversee and you manage a project from initiation to closing within an organization. So you're close to the Agile delivery manager, and that's why the two roles have been put together. So you manage also from initiation, from the start, from when that business, if it's a client that is bringing that business to you, until the close, until you write your closing report and all that. You manage the whole business. In some organizations, they have the ADM separate from the project manager. In some organizations, they put them together, and some organizations call them Agile project manager. They're still talking about the same. So core responsibilities will be project planning. You plan project, you manage the stakeholders, you will manage the risk that is involved. You need to be able to, before the project even starts, be able to look at some risks, note them down, and then manage that all throughout the project. You manage the budget for that project also. You again, another person that you track the progress of the project as it's going along. Remember, you have a budget that you have to keep to. You also have to communicate with all the stakeholders involved in that project, and then you manage the project, which that's what your name is, a project manager. So you manage it from the beginning all the way to the end, collaborating with everybody involved, communicating with everybody involved. your core skills would include you have to have planning skills, you have to have management skills, you have to be able to communicate, presentation skills, problem solving skills, analytical also, you have to reporting and documenting. Again, you have to have, not limited to this, but we're just looking at the overview. And then for some of your tools for project management, you also make use of MS Project. If you look at some of the tools that both the ADM and the project manager uses, they are quite similar or close. They might be a bit different, but because they might be doing the same thing. So you have Trello, you have Smartsheet, you have Team Gantt that you can use for your project management. For collaboration, you have MS Office, Google Workspace. There are others, okay? It's not just limited to these two, but these are the ones you see mostly in the organization. And then you have issue and risk management tools that you use. You can use Jira to do that. There's another tool called Risk Register where you manage risk on. You can use Excel documents, MS Excel. You can use that also to manage your risk. But as you go into your course, all this will be explained and used to help you for better understanding. And then we look at the cyber security professional. So who are you as a professional, as a cybersecurity professional? You are the one that protects computer system, networks, and data from security breaches, unauthorized access, and cyber threats. So that's what you do, okay, for any organization that you might be working with. And some of your core responsibility includes security monitoring, threat detection and prevention. If there are any incidents report, you have to respond to the incident that have been reported, know the measures to put in place to counter it if it had not happened. If it had happened, how to prevent further threat, and then how to secure things properly for the organization. So security policy and compliance is another of your responsibility. You need to keep to the security policy and compliance, not just of the organization alone, but for regulated bodies who provide such, for organizations. You have to have security awareness training. You'll be training the organization, you'll be training other people in the organization about how to, be security conscious, things they shouldn't do, links they shouldn't click on, things they should look out for, and all that. You'll provide that training. It's part of your responsibility to provide that training for other people that are working in the organization. You also manage and assess risk in relation to your role as a cybersecurity person. And some of your core responsibilities includes technical proficiency. I've told you, don't let those words scare you. It's just some legal terms or technical terms, let me put it that way, that you need to know regarding the role that you're doing. And then you have your cybersecurity fundamentals, some fundamental things that you need to know, that those are skills that you need to have. Also risk assessment and management, like I said, training skills, you need to have it. Ethical skills, you need to have it. Being able to be compliant, being able to work with organizations, standards and regulations. You need to have a bit of legal skills also. So you don't need to be a lawyer to be a security person. So don't feel, oh, she's put legal there. Then does that mean no? It's just knowing some guidelines, some rules, some policies and procedures that you have to follow in carrying out your roles. And then reporting also, definitely you need to be able to report also. So having reporting skills also is very good. Some of the tools, the antivirus software one, which most of us are used to, McAfee is there, Norton is there for the firewall, there's Cisco ASA is there, intrusion detection and prevention, there's Alien Vault. They are not limited to these, but these are just some few ones. Vulnerability assessment, you have the OpenVAS, and then you have Nisos also. Okay, so in the course of doing this course, this might not be the tools that you will use. So this is just giving you an overview. They might be, they might not be, specifically regarding the cybersecurity professionals. But don't worry if these ones are not there. The ones you will be taught, or you'll be given, you will be taught how to use them, so there won't be any issue regarding that. Okay, so I think that's all done. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have any questions, or if I have the time to pick questions, or allow me if you want it to be later on, then that would be good. But thank you so much for your time, and thank you for listening to me. That's
It's fine for us to take the questions now. Thank you so much, Emoji, for that sharp delivery. Thank you so much. So guys, if you have any questions, please raise your hands. Thank you. That means we all understood perfectly. Wow, I'm really, really surprised. No questions. Okay, hi, David. Shoot, please. Thank you.
You can unmute and ask your question, David.
David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good evening, everyone. Yeah,
Good evening,
my
David.
question is just about the training and the course. She talked about project management, but I'm interested in the project planning course. Is that going to be together with the project manager course, or how is it going to work?
Okay, I think they are separate courses during the internship. Allow me, correct me if I'm wrong. So we
Yes, they're
have
separate.
ADM/PM. Okay, so that's Agile Delivery Manager / Project Management. Project management. Yeah, and that's different totally from project planning. So there are two separate courses for the internship.
Okay, well, you didn't talk about the course project planning, or is it part of your what you're going to be studying as well, or?
Allow me, please bail me out on that one.
Yeah, so there's going to be a news on, like Olami said in the beginning, there will be a session where we take each of the courses one after the other, right? So project plan is done by an external consultant who is going to come and talk about what a project planner would do day to day, and also talk about the tool. It's going to be a 1 hour session, which we're going to start from next week. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Deji. Thanks, David. Any other person that has any questions as regards at least understanding what you'll be doing in your role? I actually expected a couple of questions tonight. A bit surprised. If you have any questions, please. Okay, Adisola, I do not know how I raise my hand. So, oh, okay, you don't know how to raise your hand. So first, KJ, I'll get to you. But for Adishola, so if you want to raise your hand, look towards the bottom of your screen. You see reactions there, right? You see reactions there, and usually on top of the reactions, you also see raise hands. Or raise hands can also be a standalone. Look below your screen. I want you to unmute and find it. So, but we need to quickly do that. I just want to be sure you can see it. Can you see reactions or raise hands on the bottom of your page, like the footer of your screen? Can you see it? Are you using your laptop?
She's raising her hand already.
Oh, great. Thank you. All right. So KG, go first, then Adishola will go next. KG,
Thank
quickly.
you very much, Remy. Thank you, Moji, for explaining. So I do believe we're all going to be categorized in various groups as per the course we've all chosen. So I wanted to understand that. So for example, I'm interested in QA. I will be working with a QA team going forward and meeting once a week. Is that the pattern for the training session?
Okay, KG, not exactly. So that's why I said this 1 month will make you settle in so you can have a general understanding of how the internship is going to go. So I'll just quickly give a breakdown, at least for you to understand. So usually when you join in, we put you in different groups, right? So the first group you first join in is the IT empowerment. You joining in as you are interested to join the program, right? So as soon as you do your registration and the needful, then we'll bring you in and say, okay, for example, I'm sure you're currently in an April cohort, Blue Sky, right? So that is now your general internship cohort for this April set, right? So afterwards, there are still other groups we're going to be putting you in. So one is for your role. It's going to be a QA guild where you can, you're going to be interacting with people that are also doing the same thing as you are. So it's more like a community for the QAs. You can ask questions there. You can do anything. So there are people of like minds.
Okay.
Then you're now going to have a separate group that will now be your project group. So we put people as a team. Now, it's not that you'll be working with only QAs, no. If you're in an organization, you'll be working across, say, for example, you'll be working with Scrum Masters, you might be working with business analysts, POs, different things across. You definitely have developers in your team. It depends on the company you might be. You might have engineers, you might have UX, UI designers, you can have, so, but what we do is just the roles we are training you on in Blue Sky. We put all the roles together so you can work together to develop a project, right? So
Okay.
you are going to be in a team of not just QAs. Yes, you have other QAs in your team, only mainly because anyways, usually in organization, you have maybe more than one QA in a team, but you're going to have a couple of QAs because you guys are all learning, right? So you have QAs, but we're going to have separate teams. Don't worry, I always tell people, I keep saying it, as we progress, you get more understanding. It's good to ask the questions, but as we progress, you settle in properly and get the true picture. So you're going to be working in a project team, and that's where you'll be doing your main work. So that's where you sit to do your delivery, right? But you also have your community where you can discuss with people of like minds. Oh, I'm not able to do this. Oh, I have this issue in automation or manual testing. You can ask them questions then. Oh, has anybody gotten this aspect? Can you guide me? You can ask them questions when it comes to your roles, right? So that's a separate community for you. So you be put into all this. I'm sure we've even done that already. If you check well, you'll see different roles that you're supposed to be in. So that's how it's going to be, right? I hope I answered your question.
Yes,
So, but even if
absolutely.
you don't have the visual representation of it, as we go within another like 1 week, 2 weeks, you start digesting and understanding it. So don't worry so much. Thank you,
Thank you
KG,
very
for
much.
asking the question.
Okay.
Adeshola, hi.
Where would they be posted?
Okay, I don't know if it's only me, but you are a bit. Can you try again? Speak again?
Can you hear me?
Yes, try now.
Where would they be posted?
Can anybody hear her clearly? Maybe I'm just the person not hearing clearly.
No,
No,
not
She
really.
no,
sounds
you're
really
breaking
far.
up. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to try one more time, but if you don't get it, please drop your message in the chat. We'll pick it up from there. So try one more time, Adeshola. Okay, we can't hear you. Thank you then. All right. So I guess that's the question for today. Adeshola, if you can drop your
but-
question in the chat, we'll pick. You want to say something? Somebody wanted to say something?
Yes, it's me, Deji.
Okay,
Yeah.
please shoot, please.
We've got David Abu on the call.
Yeah, he's the
who's
next person
going-
I'm going to call.
Yeah, okay. Who's going to be talking about the new program that we are doing. I'm really, really excited for this. Yeah. So, and he's going to talk about himself as well. He's an MVP, a former Microsoft employer as well. So, employee as well. So it's a privilege to have him on this chat. And to be honest, so most of the application that Microsoft have produced is part of them as well. That actually developed it. So we're going to have him talk about a very cool application, which I think everyone should know, right? Everyone should have access to, should know about it as well. So without wasting time, so let me quickly introduce David Abu. Please, David.
Hi, Emmanuel. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, so do I need to on my video or I can go talk like this?
Yeah, it's
Actually,
okay.
whatever rocks your boat.
Okay, that's fine. Let me see if I can. Okay, so hi everyone. Happy to be here. My name is David Abu, and I'm based in Canada. I worked with Microsoft for the past 3 years. I just stopped working like 2 weeks ago. But one of the things I wanted to share with you guys is one of the biggest issue that has to do with data integrations, cleaning, transforming the ETL world space. And we always know that for those in the data space, you always have an integration issue where your data is, how do I bring my data from where it is down to where it can connect to either Excel, Power BI, or any tool that I use for transformation. Now, what Microsoft did was that Microsoft needed to create a software, a SaaS product that helps you to be able to connect your data wherever they are, either Amazon S3, either GCP, anywhere they are, they bring them in. You say, oh, but David, it's like Power BI. Yes, it's like Power BI, but it's bigger than Power BI in the sense that for Power BI, you're just a business intelligence person. You're connecting, but imagine that you can do data engineering, you can do data science, and you can do your business intelligence in one tool and not a desktop this time. You remember if you want to learn Power BI, you say, oh, I have Mac, I can learn Power BI. But this time is on a website, is web. So you can do everything. So imagine you can do DAX on your web, you can do your modeling on your web. So that is that product that we call the Microsoft Fabric. And you might have heard of it for those who are close to Microsoft tools, you might have heard of Microsoft Fabric. So if you think that that is something that you wish to learn, it also has its own certification that you can learn. So it's a big stuff if you really, really want to learn it. So imagine those who have learned Azure already, who know Synapse. So imagine that you're bringing the world of Azure Synapse, Azure Data Factory, all those ETL stuff into Power BI. Everything makes it what we call the Microsoft Fabric. And I can't wait to have a class with you guys for those who will really be interested, especially for those in the data space. It would be a nice thing for you to have. Thank you very much, Olaomi and Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, David, for sharing this. Now you put me interested. You'll be in trouble. Those of us that will drag your shirt. Did you want to say something before I proceed with the last few things I want to announce?
All right, thank you, thank you, David, for that. To be honest, I spoke with David. He eventually kind of bought me over, even though with my experience, and I thought, why not just bring this guy into the platform, even though it was kind of very, very impromptu. And thank you for actually accepting to be on this call, even on a short notice. So, David is going to do a session next week, right? So then after that, we'll put the program out anyway. So it's going to be a session. It's not going to be internship, right? It's going to be a 10 lessons, actually, I would say, over 1 month. Okay. So, but we'll let you know on the curriculum and everything by next week. Yeah. I think everyone, whether you're in advance or yeah, I think you are going to benefit from it anyway. So, but it's going to be for a subsidized amount for this set anyway, because this set is the first time we are doing it. I've already spoken to him. So we're going to let you know about the cost next week, but it's not going to be as expensive as other courses anyway, trust me. So yeah, so but of course, this is going to be for this session. For the next session, it might be more expensive from yeah. Okay, all right, thank you so much, David, once again. Okay, over to you, Olaomi.
All right, thank you so much. Josh, your question quickly. Dami, sorry, your question quickly.
This question is for Mr. Deji. Is
Okay.
this Microsoft Fabric different from Microsoft Dynamic 365 you mentioned before?
Yes, it's totally different actually. So this is for, Dynamics is totally different actually, very, very different. So Fabric is for everyone that in the data space, or you want to know more about data space, right? Or you are working on ETL, right? So just Google ETL and there are a lot of job on ETL anyway. So and you've also worked with Databricks before. You want to know how Databricks can be used, or Power BI can be used with Microsoft's Fabric. So this is totally different from D365. But one thing I can say, Dynamics actually will be done for only the guys in advance. Okay, it's not going to be done for everybody. But this one will be up. Will open it to everybody, because I'm really, really excited about when I heard about this particular tool. Yeah, so and also for someone that has worked with Microsoft, I think is good to have him on the platform. Thank you.
Sorry to bore you with too much question. For the
Okay.
Microsoft Fabric mentioned, how beneficial would that be for a QA, for a BA, for a Scrum Master, or that they want to diversify to data space?
Okay. All right. That's a good question, right? So for instance, I've worked with I'm a QA professional, even though I've done Scrum Mastering before, I've done virtually everything anyway. So, but one thing I can tell you, I've worked in a project which is ETL. I've worked with Databricks as well, right? So when I was speaking to David, and I thought, oh, I kind of saw myself using it as well. So because also you might also be working on a project, right, that's related to data factory or Databricks or ETL as a QA, right? And then maybe it will be too late for you to kind of get the training, or you saw a requirement and they actually needed someone that's got experience with um data on the Microsoft Fabric. So it's really related to every role, right? Even if you're a Scrum Master, you might work in a project like that. So or you're a QA or you're a BA. So I think it's fine. So I think, yeah, David has got his hand up if you want to add something.
Yeah, so understand that practically every role needs to understand data. Kind of everybody knows that you need to understand, you need to have you need to be a data literate, kind of. Now, apart from that, is that if you are now within a space that is data heavy, it means that you have to know how to analyze your data, irrespective of where they are coming from. So if you have the opportunity to be able to do that, if it's something that you already know that you use Power BI, for sure, if you use Power BI or you know that your role will likely use Power BI, just know that you need to learn Fabric. That is the real truth. Publicly right now is that this year will be the ending of people buying Power BI premium license this year. From next year, everybody switch to Fabric licenses, which means that enterprise companies who are using Power BI premium, they will switch to Fabric. So it means that if you are using Power BI and next year you still want to use Power BI, you will get Fabric because Power BI is inside of Fabric. But the written there is that since Power BI is already inside of Fabric, it would just be nice for you to just learn Fabric so that you can do more ETL and you can do more work, because there also you have your Copilot inside of Fabric. And for everybody who knows Copilot is just like ChatGPT. So you have Copilot inside of it, whereby you can use natural language to tell you that give me the top 5 store by this, and it's just going to build all your report for you without you doing all that. So there are so many things that you're going to learn, but now you're now going in depth, understanding a little bit of engineering, a little bit of science, a little bit of administration, a little bit of business intelligence, which gives you more knowledge, broadening your horizon based on what data warehouse is and all those other stuff. So I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, you did, David. Thank you. 100%. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, David, for spicing that up. So just so that we can finish right about time, just a couple of announcements for you guys. So the application for this cohort is still open till 27th of May. So please feel free to register. Just go to Prep Major courses. If you also want to use the affiliate link, please feel free to do that. So all you need to do there is to register. When you register, you can always get your affiliate link and share with your friends. So once you share that, you can always get a 10% back for introducing people to the program. So I just want to quickly show you guys the calendar, and then I can share the calendar with you there on. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, but I will be very speedy about this so that we can finish right on time. We have just a minute to the end of the call. Oh, I'm still seeing hands up. Miracle, you seem to have a question. Do you want to quickly go?
Okay.
Miracle?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Concerning
go ahead.
the data fabrics, is it open for everyone, or you must have a little experience on data?
Did you want to take that?
Yeah, I will. So, hi, Miracle.
Yeah.
So one thing there is that if you understand analytics as a whole, you should be able to go through it. Will it be nice for you to a little bit have understanding of data? Yes, it will. One of the things that we are going to likely do is to take you through some prerequisites before going into Fabric. That way, you'll be able to understand some languages that we talk about, so that when I say data modeling, you understand a little bit of when I say data modeling, but it's going to be beginner friendly because Fabric came out last year. I was part of the team that worked on Fabric before it came out, like 1 year before it came out. I was working with it on Fabric. Then it came out last year, May 2023, at Microsoft Build. So it's just 1 year old, and that is why I want you guys to also take advantage of it, because it's just in the market. And definitely we all know, if Microsoft build a product, it's not going to be like, oh, after 2 years, 3 years, they're going to kill it. No, it doesn't work that way. Power BI 2 is just 8 years old, and Power BI is even beating all other competitors when it comes to business intelligence tool. So that is the way I want you guys to look at Fabric. So we're going to go very basic, beginner friendly, but also for those set of people who are not in the data space at all, I'm going to have to stretch you guys a little bit, read up some things so that you can understand what we're saying in class. If you are up for that, the class will be a breeze.
Okay, it's fine.
All right, thank you, David. Okay, so the last thing I just wanted to show quickly is our schedule for the next 1 month. So I'll just show you the things you need to note, just for clarity's sake. So this internship, like Deji told you, to be about 4 months, like 3.5, almost 4 months. Ideally, it's usually 3 months, but we just want to take time for everyone to settle in properly before we commence fully. Sorry, apologies. Before we commence fully. So we'll be doing just introduction to the internship for the next 2 weeks, just for everybody to start wrapping their heads around, what we'll be doing week on week till the end of the internship. So anywhere you see all roles, and sincerely, for the next couple of weeks, most of the things you'll be doing is all roles, so that you can have an understanding, background knowledge of everything you need to know as regards Agile, Scrum, and all the bits, right? So we've already had some of this session already. If you remember, you had career development last Thursday. On Sunday, you heard a bit of testimony of those that have gone through Blue Sky, their journey and experiences. Then today now we're just doing brief introduction to all the roles and our calendar update, which is what we're doing right now. So tomorrow again, I told you already, you'll be having your pastoral care and career development. So like that. Then from next week, we'll now start doing full introduction to all the courses. Even the full introduction will still be a spice, right? Like just 30 minutes to introduce only Scrum Mastery, and then we'll have some Q&As. We'll also probably listen to journey of people that have done this, so you can relate and understand that nobody brought this knowledge of the Scrum from anywhere. Most of us passed through all this and we are where we are today, right? So just have that belief that it's something you can do. So we'll guide you first, just to reorientate you and reorganize your thoughts that is something that is doable. Some people, when they hear IT, they chicken out. No. So that's why we're trying to do this, so we can bring you up to speed, to have that round understanding and overview and be confident in yourself. You can do it. People that do not even know how to press Control Alternate Delete are QAs today, are MVPs today, are analysts today. So don't shortchange yourself. So we'll take you through all the rules gradually, right? Like I said, anything can change in this schedule, but if we change it, we'll also notify you. Or if we change it way beforehand, well, there's no need to really notify you. You see it on the schedule, right? But if it's something that is almost impromptu, we'll let you know. So day on day, we just do one per day so everyone can digest it and have an understanding. You ask questions properly and all. So for each of the roles like that, we'll keep going. So once we're done with that, now, I told you the other day that Sunday was the only time we're going to do anything Sunday. From the last cohort, we've kicked out Saturday and Sunday for any training session, so everyone can, just self-develop. But it doesn't mean you're going to log off the internship completely. It's your personal time to develop yourself. Apologies about my background noise. It's your personal time to develop yourself. And aside developing yourself, sometimes maybe later towards the later end of the internship, it might be periods that you and your team might want to meet to have one discussion or the other. Apologies. To have a discussion or the other. So you can use your Saturday and Sundays to do that. Then we do our sprint from Tuesday to Monday now. And the reason, apologies, please give me a minute. Continue. All right, thank you. So we do it from Tuesday. So Tuesday starts your week, right? So your sprint starts on Tuesday and ends on 2 Mondays from then. And the Monday is when we do our review. That's our demo session, showcase. They all mean the same thing, where you give feedback to the stakeholders on what you've done for the 2 weeks. So we'll start you with Sprint 0, middle of next month, and then take you gradually for 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks now, then we'll now start introducing you. This is now where your full onboarding starts. Introducing you to the Scrum sessions, workshops, so you can have a feel of what it is about. You start doing your daily stand-up. We introduce you to your charter like that. So one after the other, we just keep taking you so that you see most of the calls for this period, are all rules. So everybody has a knowledge of it. Then thereon, you now start having role-specific, like for example now, the Azure board setup, we would have told you about Azure, but when we now get to the setup alone, we would have done the general setup anyways, just to show you, right? Then the interns themselves, the SMs, will now do a setup workshop. So there's a place that would have done a setup for you. Yeah, this is the setup. Everybody will be there so you can see it. It's not like you be in an organization, you not even know where to point to when they're asking questions because you're a BA or because you're a QA. No, everybody will have an all-round overview of it. And then the Scrum Masters themselves, this is where the work starts. So at this beginning, the Scrum Masters will do most of the work. So they'll do the setup of the board, make sure that their team is ready. So that's why they do all that. So I don't want to go into all the details, but as we go, you get to understand. So most things will just show you, like this is a BA specific session, but we like all roles to come. So you can even understand when they're saying somebody is eliciting requirements, what does it mean? So people can have a round idea, but for something like this DA Power BI is a role specific. So this will be only for DAs like that. So always check it. Anytime you see all roles, if you like be I don't know the role I want to call now, but any role, right? Whether planning, Oracle, anything, please join. But anytime you see a role specific one, you maybe need not join, right? But it's okay to sometimes just to listen in, but just focus on your role so you'll not be taking too much things at once. So I guess that's about it, just to show you the first few weeks of your internship. And like I said, all this part is still seasoning. You see that we've not even started sprint 1. So from here now, from 28 rather, you now start your sprint 1. So from here, you'll be doing your full practical, developing your project and all that. So for the next 10 weeks after this, it will be about developing your project. Yes, we'll still be putting in trainings here and here. You still have a lot of trainings, though. Don't no capo. You still have a lot of trainings, but at the same time, we do the first huge bunch where you can get very saturated. Please try not to exhaust yourself. Just try, join in on time. Don't join in late. If you miss one thing, it might just be that thing that will throw you off. if, for example, they've started tutorials for like, I don't like calling it tutorial training, for like 5 minutes, and you join, you might just be lost because the first 5 minutes was what would have gingered you to even start listening. So please try and join in on time so that you can get all the flavor of why you are here. And if you have any issues, please just feel free to reach out to the admin, reach out to us on Telegram, and let's always remember to be professional when we're doing things. Now, when I mean professional, please don't be rude to anybody. Don't be rude to your colleagues. Don't be rude to mentors, bodies. Please just let's stay professional so that we can all live here smiling. I'm not saying it's a trend, but I just like people to just put it in their mind. Nothing is personal, but if you're not happy about something, feel free to hear your mind. Feel free. You can even call the person to the side and chat the person. Don't always be known for causing any ruckus and all that. I always feel very important to tell you guys, let's be professional so that we can all grab what we came here to grab, learn, and please don't ever shortchange yourself. You have a wealth of knowledge that will support you all through. Mentors, bodies, they will handhold you all through your journey. So do not fret, do not feel you cannot do it. You can do it. Trust in yourself. And the sky is your starting point. Thank you, everyone. I think that's all I have for you guys tonight. That's all we have for you guys tonight. So you can stop the recording. Oh, okay, hold on. Ola, hi.
Hi there, just a very quick question to you,
Please
David.
shoot.
The fabric, how much coding is involved, if there's any?
No coding.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Alright.
So there is a coding aspect to it, but we don't need to do coding because except somebody who is a data science person. But the major thing I would love teaching everybody is the background understanding of it. How you build on it will be entirely the path that you want to take going forward, because fabric is very wide. So, but that's just how it is. But no much coding at all.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. So just a quick reminder that our next session is going to be on Thursday. We'll have our career development and pastoral care. Please feel free to join in right on time from 8 to 9. It could extend a bit, but no, not really. This is maybe really going to be spot on because we're going to start our pastoral care by 8:30 and it's usually 30 minutes, yeah? So thanks, everyone. I'm still seeing some hands up. Okay, I think it's David that hasn't put his hand down. Okay, Ede, is that the correct pronunciation? Please feel free to correct me. Ede, you have a question. You want to speak quickly?
Okay, I will put on my all right. So I just wanted to ask: is this training also is it part of the internship, or there's some sort of internship after this whole
No,
training?
I'm not hearing you very clearly. Do you want to start again quickly and try to be more audible?
Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
Okay, I just wanted to ask: is this training also included with the whole internship, or there's an internship after the whole 3 months of training? I don't really get it completely.
All right. So your internship has started, but we just keep training you to prepare you. We can't just tell you start developing something right now. You won't know the left from right on what to do, right? So all this is just prepping you gradually towards being able to do the practical aspect of it, right? So there'll be a lot of training, and then yes, your internship, but your internship commences already from 25th of April.
Okay, all right, no problems.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, David, I should have called you first, but I actually thought it was David Abu that had his hands up. So, but I now saw that your David is different from David Abu. So, David, do you want to ask your question? I hope I answered your question, Ede. Thank you.
Yes, you did.
All right, thanks. David, quickly.
Yeah, I'm just asking about the introduction to project planning. He said it'll be done next week. I can't find it on the timetable. Do you know when next week this session will take place?
So I'll give you a feedback on that, right? That's for the project planning, but please do not miss anything you're seeing right now on the calendar. So I'll tell you the exact time for the next one for project planning, right? So I'll share this calendar afterwards. You see it on the calendar when we're done. Yeah?
All right then, thank you.
No worries at all. Thank you, David. All right. Any other question before we call it a day? Okay. 5 seconds rules. So if there's no other question, I'm happy for us to call it a day. Thank you everyone for joining in.